So many things have been experienced by so many people, and there are more questions than answers. The mystery of life after death has intrigued many. But how would we react if we had all the answers? Maybe that is why we don't. I would have to state that one of my earliest paranormal experiences that I've had, while investigating at least, was we were at an antique store and we were upstairs, and suddenly the cupboard doors to some antique furniture opened by themselves. So we went up there to investigate further, and then upon investigating there was cold spots and chills going through the entire location upstairs. They were moving too. It wasn't just a draft or anything like that. Suddenly there was this just sudden deep cold chill that went through my body, and it was the weirdest thing ever. It wasn't just like walking into a freezer or anything like that, although the effects of it could have been equivalent to going into a freezer on a 90-degree day. But what happened was that it was a centralized tingly chill basically that came across me, centralized on my spine too. I'll never forget that. It was weird, just going up and down the center of my back, and it was just overwhelming at that time. And it was told to me that I was touched by a possible spirit at that time. And
okay, so my first introduction into the paranormal was through my parents actually, and they had a really cool experience before I was born. They got back from a vacation and the bathtub was overflowing with water. It was on the second floor, and when they got back they saw water dripping from the ceiling. They went up there and it was overflowing, and the only thing in the house was the cat, and nobody else had been in the house, so they had no idea how it got turned on or what happened. Well, first they did some history on the house, and they found out that a doctor somehow lost all his money or something and committed suicide in that bathtub. I really haven't done much in the paranormal until this. I'm really looking forward to, getting some ghostly experiences.
I remember at one point, I was about 22 years old, and I was married at the time, but my husband had gone to work, and I was ill that morning before he went to work. And I remember being on the couch, and I remember laying there, and I was just sicker than a dog. Couldn't move. I called my mother, and I was like, all I could say was help. I don't know what happened after that, but what I remember of this was that I was running through this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful light, and there was a man sitting on a rock, and I remember all of these children running for that rock, and they wanted to be the first one to be up on this man's lap. And I was no different. It was like coming home. You know, we all knew each other. I knew who the man was. To me, he was God, and it was like unlike anything, any beauty I could even describe. I thought to myself, God, I have come home. And he bent down, and I remember this as clear as day, and he whispered something in my ear. And as he did that, I felt just this negative existence moving away from me. I mean, it was just like taking a long, cool bath, and you feel refreshed after it, and it revives you. And then the next thing I remember is screaming, I don't want to go back, I don't want to go back, I don't want to go back. And I remember that it's just like a kid throwing a tantrum as their parents are moving them, I don't want to go back, I don't want to go back. My mother had, from the time I talked to her, called an ambulance. There was a slight pulse and I was barely breathing. And they rushed me to the hospital. I had a severe infection from a procedure I had done. My doctor says I died at that time. What I remember is that light and that existence beyond this life. Now, was I dreaming? I don't know. I want to believe that I was in God's hands. I want to believe that Christ said, you have to go back. There's so much for you to do. Even though my gifts had always been there and I fought them, I can remember that being a time when I said to myself, maybe there's something more to this.
But beyond the experience with investigating in a formal group, per se, I've had experiences way back when I was very little, too. And I always feel like I was being watched. I always felt like I had an imaginary friend. And so it kind of makes me wonder, you know, as I got into this, just thinking, well, an imaginary friend, but then when I heard spirit guide or ghost or anything like that, there's terminology later in life, when I heard those words, it makes me go back and kind of wonder, you know, a few years ago when I was having that spirit that I was always talking to, or that man. I know a lot of us in this endeavors group going at it for various different reasons, but mine is kind of a personal one. I kind of wanting to know what the heck this is all about. How could this even be possible?
I don't think I was ever a skeptic. I usually have a pretty open mind about things. I believe in, you know, stuff like aliens and ghosts, and I believe in God and stuff. And if you believe in the afterlife, why the heck can't there be ghosts? It just doesn't make any sense. So,
from my personal experiences, I totally believe in life after death. I believe that there are those souls who maybe have committed a horrendous crime in this life that don't remember that there's forgiveness to move into the light, move into the love that is waiting for them there.
The main purpose of this group is to do the scientific and the spiritual side to investigations. When we go to an investigation, we have the client's permission to do the spiritual and sometimes scientific. We try to bring that together in a way that it really can be interesting, I believe, and it'll be interesting to see what endeavors we come across in the future.
Since Alex is pretty new to all this and he hasn't had much equipment experience, I wanted him to get a little bit of that, and I knew exactly where to take him to do so.
Here they are. Hey, come on in.
This is Alex Jackie.
Hey, Alex. Nice to meet you. Heard a lot about you.
me too.
You've heard a lot about you too?
But yeah, we went to school together. That's where we met at college. college, so and he had an interest in paranormal and cinema, so I just thought maybe it would be a good starter.
A good combo.
Mm-hmm.
Glad to have you. This is Nancy. She owns the school
Nice to
here.
meet you as well.
Yeah, Nancy lets us come in sometimes short notice, sometimes let us come in and work on spiritual training and stuff like that, so it's really nice of her. So I guess we'll just go over some of the equipment. I know you're kind of new to this, and I want to kind of get some of the basic tools that we use out of the way so you're kind of familiar with them. This one is one of the number one pieces of equipment that we use. It's an EMF meter, which stands for electromagnetic fields. And we try to find a, no pun intended here, a dead spot to try to put this in after we do a sweep and put it in there. And the theory is that if there's any EMF that goes off that's sporadic, it could be something paranormal or something unknown, I should say.
Theory is that spirit needs a high level of electromagnetic fields to manifest. So that's what we use the EMF meter for. When we're looking for temperature fluctuations, the one thing that's reported by most sensitives and most people in the paranormal is a drastic temperature change. It will either rise or it will lower. Again, it comes into the theory that when energy is manipulated, it causes that fluctuation in temperature. You know, how many times have you been in an environment, and I'm not sure with you because you're new at this, where you feel like something maybe cold has gone past you, a cold breeze where there shouldn't be one. That's what we're looking for, is a variation in those temperatures. And you know, I've worked with Eric in the past, and I know how strong his gifts are. I know what he experiences when he goes into an environment is very deep and oftentimes very emotional for him. I was surprised when I met Alex. You know, we have people that talk about, well, I see things and I feel things, and I'm very skeptical about that because everyone wants to jump on the bandwagon now. Here I found a young man that is looking for answers, and I could see Eric 5 years ago in this young man. It's just having that one person, please tell me what I'm seeing, what I'm feeling, what I'm hearing, that it's just not all in my head. I think he's going to go a very long way. I think he has a road to travel in discovery, and I think his gifts are going to get stronger. I think he has an amazing mentor with Eric. I will say, if we can't explain what's going on, there's some activity that's presenting that we don't have an explanation for. Does that mean it's paranormal? Not necessarily. It just means simply we cannot explain it. So you are not imagining these things, but we still can't explain it to you. You have to be very conscientious about what you say and how you present things. When Eric presents evidence, he will sit there and he'll go through everything and he'll, the whole time, well, we got this, I have no idea what it is. You know, that isn't that we're trying to sidestep anything, but we're very honest about what we do. We don't know what it is. We're still searching for those answers ourselves.
So I just met Jackie. She seems like a really interesting person. Eric just introduced me to her, and he's talked a lot about her and described a lot of the things she does and a lot of things she's seen.
You know, the best education is to do as much research as you possibly can.
Alright, and this thing is kind of my prized possession. It's fairly new. We started using it on a few investigations, and we actually took it on a training run here, which you remember when we were working here before.
Yeah, the only legitimate experience I've had personally is when Eric took me and my friend to an abandoned school.
You okay, Alex? You alright?
Yeah. Wow, that was so weird. I actually I think I have tears in my eyes right
Go in
now.
that corner and see what happens to you. It just comes over me, I just start,
Oh my gosh.
I just almost start crying.
Here it goes again. Are you trying to hurt me right now? Why do you do this to people? That was pretty intense. I have never felt anything like that before.
The feeling of just wanting to cry and get in the fetal position was pretty strong.
Would you say you had your first or somewhat of a supernatural experience?
I think so.
This is on communications, lights, strobe, rear strobe, and then the IR cameras on it. So that's what we have for that. And then it's hooked up to a monitor and a receiver. It's kind of it, and it records to DVD, which is in here, which can be changed.
So Eric has built this little remote-controlled spirit interceptor, and I think it's pretty cool. I haven't seen it. I watch a lot of ghost shows and stuff, and I've never seen anything like that. So I think it's a pretty unique machine he's built, and I think the wireless cams pointing both ways is a pretty good idea. It's pretty cool stuff. I think it's interesting that all the equipment is not really, it's used for other things, and I think all the theories are interesting, and it's just fun using that stuff to solidify all the theories and, move them from theories into actual facts. So I think it's pretty cool.
So this is the first time we've been back since the ordeal.
I remember that corner very vividly.
Yeah, and you and Kurt just broke down. And a patch of sadness, though. I explained it to Jackie.
Well, it's just really weird because I don't know, everybody's kind of over in this area, and I just kind of felt like I just kept being drawn to that corner. I don't know why, I just kept looking over there, so I finally, it was just like a switch. It was like, bam, sadness, calm.
Yeah.
And it was like, hey Kurt, you want to come over here? And he did. He comes over here, and then
I had to come in with one of these, which as sensitives or anyone with gift, we know or we're at least aware of the Earth's natural energies. And so there's crystal and amethyst, which is type of a stone it's believed to be healing. And I remember it worked on you. I remember you were just almost so nervous and whatnot, and he held on to you like, whoa.
yeah, because I don't know if it was the cold from me shaking and stuff, but yeah, it seemed like once I went like that,
Yeah.
I stopped shaking.
Yeah, you're fine. And then Kurt had to double take. He took a dosage and then he came back. Took more. So
It worked.
yeah, that's good. That's why you have to be grounded. That's what we believe in, and you also have to have certain protective type stones or objects with you just in case you come into something like that. Because a lot of time we're going into a place we're only told what may be there, and there may be something that's completely, something evil or something, that really drains you. And the investigator was right here, sitting down, looking out, and saw a shadow person dodge right across the room and just went out there. And he got up, he jumped up, and he full sprinted after it, but he couldn't catch it, obviously, and it disappeared. But it was a solid shadow person. I didn't see it.
Was it tall or little? Or
He says it was maybe about like this, and middle school age maybe. But it was like it just went across the hall.
So it was like a child man.
Possibly. A child man, yeah. An adolescent.
Well, an adolescent man.
Oh, and there's a story with these two. They keep running into these across the whole. Well, I'll turn around there too and look.
No, is that what broke?
That's what we heard, yeah. When we were here one time, when I was training Alex, we were leaving this floor, and then we heard what sounded like glass moving, or at least breaking. I mean, it sounded like, well, I can't do it here.
Yeah,
like that.
Just like that.
Like someone kicked that. Of course, we didn't have cameras on and stuff.
I think it was just you and me that heard it too.
Yeah. And the other time when we came back to do a sweep to make sure we had everything, Kurt was with us too that time. Remember we heard one of these doors shut?
Yeah.
So. It's training purposes, Alex and Eric, paranormal endeavors at the school of Farrar, Iowa.
Good old Farrar.
Is there anybody up here with us on the third floor of this school? Remember how this works. You can make a noise for yes, do nothing for no. If you can understand me or hear me, can you let us know somehow? How about any staff? Are there any teachers, custodians, or principals that are here?
Is there anybody in here that wants to communicate with us, like the principal that came into contact with Kurt the last time we were here? Is that an animal or like a bird or something? If that was you, can you do it again?
Remember how I start broad and just like our EVP sessions that we're telling about, just kind of start and try to get it down to work. So maybe focus more on the personal stuff, just like when you said Kurt, but also maybe you want to mention this is the first time to confront whatever it was here and be like, you know, were you the one who made me cry, or were you the one who's sad? But when you have a connection or a history in a certain environment where you know something, that can fuel a fire, so to speak. You start with that and then go from there. So maybe you want to.
Because like if they've done something to you before, do they like remember you?
They can, yes. So now's the time to see if whatever's still here.
So don't ask them to like come to make me sad again or something.
No, not that necessarily, unless you want to cry again.
No, I don't. Is there some reason why you drew my attention over to the corner? If that was you, can you make a sound again?
Are you still sad, or are you still upset?
Was it something that happened to you? Is it something that someone did to you? One of the biggest things I'm excited about is the dynamic of this group and how we have not really skeptics, but just people who aren't as gifted, and then people who are really gifted and sensitive. And so these two groups can just kind of come together and work together, help each other out, and it'll be really fun. So are the people going to be in the house when we do the investigation?
Yeah, they're going to stick around, and I kind of asked them to, if they could, because try to keep the environment as much as it would be normally if they were home. Stuff happens when they're there, then try to keep the chemistry and that atmosphere as close as possible to what it would be normally. And some of the stuff that they're reporting is basically, a lot of it's auditorial. There's be noises and voices they're hearing out loud. I was on a game chat with one of the clients, and basically just me talking to him about what was going on in that house would spike up activity, and they were starting to have some strange stuff going on just talking about it when I was 600 miles away. So isn't just in their house, I don't think. I think the property might have a lot of history to it.
How many houses are on the property?
Well, their main house, and there's like a brick house behind it that I think is related to it, and they've talked to the clients over the phone, and they're stating that they've had other stuff too. It wasn't just in their house. So I'm thinking we're going to be outside a little bit, and we'll see if we have access to both places.
Is there a bathroom?
No, there's a outhouse that you're going to have to use, one of those two-seater Victorian style. Right here, maybe? On this investigation, it was really just Alex and myself. Jackie had to sit this one out because of some things that she had going on back home. So I'm glad that this place wasn't too huge.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey.
I'm Eric.
Hey, I'm Mikey. Nice to meet you.
This is Alex.
Hey, nice to meet you, buddy. Nice to meet you. Hey, welcome to the house. This house used to be this room and this other room right here. It used to be one top of the hill up yonder. About, I don't know, over 100 years ago. So we moved down here. My grandparents raised 11 kids out here. My grandmother, my grandfather both died. My grandfather died in the yard. My grandmother died in this house right over there. This room over here next door is where it's Jesse's room, but that's where my grandfather was laid out when he died. So that's where these had funerals back then. Back in '52, they had him here
In the house.
So that's where he's at, right there. And like I said, this was my grandmother's room from years ago. And when my grandfather passed away, that's where they laid him out on the bed. And the room's changed since then because we remodeled the house, but he laid right here. The headboard was right here. The bed was right this way. That's where he laid out.
Is it like a white light or?
It's just like a, yeah, it's just like a white. It ain't really a light, it's just like a white something. And you can ask my son just because he sees him see somebody standing looking at his doorway all the time and come in his room. It freaks us out.
You should start closing his door at night.
Man, it has closed and I still see it, don't you, buddy?
Oh, never mind.
And that's man, because I see it too, man. I mean, so see. That's why you guys are here.
Yeah. Upon entering the residence, almost immediately, there appeared to be maybe something going on. I thought I saw some kind of a figure. I had to look, a double take. I didn't see it again. It seemed like a woman in a white dress. And I was hoping that I'd have a moment to go aside and kind of draw out what I thought I saw. Hey, Alex. When he's describing it, what happened, in the kitchen right there, it's hard to say, but I thought I seen something right there. Like if someone was standing there. That's why I looked over and first came in. I thought there might have been someone else here, but I don't know.
What'd you see?
Well, hard to say, but I thought I seen someone that looked like a woman, maybe in her 60s or 70s. So maybe late 60s, early 70s, possibly. If that it fits the time frame, I don't know. That's what it looked like when I went in there. So we'll just have to see, investigate, and see if we see it again. Yeah.
Seeing ghosts, huh? What's the ghost look like?
I don't know.
Images or flashes or?
Kind of like a grayish.
I will tell you this: when that old two-room house sat there, the day before, who had been my grandma, my mom's mother, passed away. Of course, it was just two rooms, so it was. And Mom said that there was a lamb run in the front door and run out the back door. And the next day, her mother passed away, and there wasn't no lambs ever around there.
Yeah.
Of course, the only part of that house had been those two logs, or the logs that's under the bottom of the front of it still. Now, I think my son has said he's seen a lamb in there before. But I don't. The reason I was asking him what images was, I have been in the past sitting in a chair in this house in the living room, and you could feel someone standing there, and you turn, there wasn't nobody there. But if you really seen someone, I don't know where you'd conk out or what, if someone was really there. That's just a feeling, I guess. I don't know.
My grandmother had died in the kitchen, and then later on the grandpa showed us a picture, and that's the woman that Eric saw. The picture fit exactly what he saw. He didn't have time to make a sketch of her and then show them because they showed us the picture before he could do that, but he said that's definitely what he saw.
If I sit in this chair or sit on my bed, or if I'm like watching TV to go to sleep, I usually see a figure or just something standing about right here to about where that wall is, or close to this doorway. I've had experiences when I was talking to Eric. All my friends, they've seen stuff when I was in here. They'd say there's someone standing out in the doorway, and I'd get up and look, there'd be nothing there.
You saw that recording you played for me?
No. That's on my other phone. Got messed up.
What was it?
Sound like a rather large gasp or breath or something.
I opened the back door, get out on the front porch, I hear somebody's like, Julie! Oh shit! So I ran inside, locked the doors, and I look around the corner. I'm just like a big chicken shit. I was here by myself. I freaked out.
So it was outside where that happened?
Yeah, I was like,
I thought about placing a camera facing, just kind of covering the back.
but it did kind of freak me out. It sounded like a lady's voice, honestly. It's like, Julie! And I was like, oh my god, you know? I was like, oh shit.
Did it sound like they were trying to like get your attention or something?
Yeah.
Like,
These things are kind of new to us. What they are, so basically a motion and or vibration detector. It's kind of to noise, I should say. Any vibration that makes noise. And so we're going to try to put them in different places and see if something lights them up when we're all quiet. And it'd be kind of cool if they do.
this is my voice. What'd you forget now?
Well, I brought this, but I don't think I have the remote for it. So it's just going to be stationary camera, which we can still use, and the touch lights. But it's just kind of a pain. So, oh well, I guess we'll just have to use it as is. Indiana house. We're starting with EVP session 1 and Jesse's room. This one's your first actual official investigation, isn't it?
Sure is.
Yeah, okay. Start out with basic questions like, who are you? Could you make a noise for us?
Okay. Is there anybody here that wants to communicate with us tonight? Are you the one that stands in front of the doorway?
My name's Eric. This is Alex. You're here investigating or called in to check out this place. Been friends with Jesse for a while now. He's told me about some of the things that have happened here. And if you're joining us with your presence, if you'd feel free to either speak to us, make a noise for us, set off any of these devices that we have here. I thought I saw you when I first walked in. I'm just gonna kind of start saying random things that come to me, whether they have significance or not. One tool that's overlooked a lot is the human side of things. There's a human element that's actually overlooked way too much, and that is the senses that we have, even the sixth senses. The hair standing up, the random thoughts, things that get into your head that you can't explain why they're there. And so at certain investigations, if the clients let us, we will also do that side of the investigation. And it's really interesting if it gets backed up with something on recorders or the cameras, the motion sensors, anything else during that time. Cloth has like white polka dots, or it's white dotted. It's like a dress with maybe the trim around it, and it's kind of blue and it goes down to about here or so. What's the significance of that? What are you trying to tell me? Is there more than just you here? Is there more than one person? Trace of, I don't know, I think it's more of a female. Younger than you. Possibly brown hair. Younger, I don't know exactly, maybe in her 40s. I felt that she was very nice woman, if that's who I'm picking up on. Alright, let's switch it over. Jess, why don't you ask as if it's her and ask questions that she like hobbies and stuff maybe she liked to do, and try to bring on personal level, so we try to bring her out if that is who it is.
Like her and her husband used to like go to car shows, so would I ask something about like that or?
Sure. Anything she liked. I'd start out by her name, so you know who you're speaking to directly.
Am I speaking to you, Debbie? Did you and your husband like to go to car shows and look at cars?
So you said that the closet swung open?
Yeah, well, I was talking to Eric one day, and we're talking about something like happening here one day or something like that. And we just brought up the subject of ghosts and stuff, and the door it was latched, and it just kind of opened. It wasn't like real fast, it was kind of like just like normal speed, kind of just opening up. And like I closed it, and there's no way it could have like done it by itself with that much force, opened wide up.
And you just saw the whole thing happen?
Yeah. Like I was talking to him and I was kind of facing that way. I could see the corner of my eye just... I was like, Eric, my closet door just opened.
Alright, what we have here is something that I brought back. It brings joy, love, and peace everywhere it goes. It also has a stone called agassiz, a stone which is a healing, peaceful. Just have this out and see if any kind of an activity or anything happens with it as well. And we'll see. Let's try this again. Is there anybody here present with us? EVP is a very common phenomenon in this field. It's electronic voice phenomenon is what it stands for. The theory is that it's spirit voices that are picking up on recording devices. So technically, you're supposed to be able to leave a recording device in a room and just get nothing but ambient nothingness. Just really hear nothing, really. But that's not the case. For some reason, we're picking up voices that shouldn't be there. Do you like angels? Do you like angels? Do you think they bring a peacefulness into a home? Or did you not fully experience any of that because you're between the two worlds? Did you hear that? Should we move to the living room? Welcome to join us if you like. Here, Jesse, you try talking to Grandma about the poodle.
Did you used to have a poodle named
Candy?
Candy?
I was sitting on the couch for a while, and I had, just that feeling that everybody gets, like somebody standing behind you. And that's about all I picked up. And then there was one noise. There was a pop can sitting on the table.
What was that?
The can.
Keep going, Jesse.
If you had any other animals, what were they?
You kind of feel like a change in the room.
Mm-hmm. On edge, kind of, like a presence.
Yeah, it kind of seems like somebody
entered the room. Literally.
Yeah, it just has a completely different feel.
If you're here with us and you can understand what we're saying, or you can understand what Jesse is saying, you seem to prefer making noises. Could you do that again? If that was you, could you do it a little bit louder? That's good. If that was you again, one more time, could you do it even a little bit louder? Thanks. A few seconds if you want to try to make a noise. If that was you, could you do it a little bit louder? That's good. If that was you again, one more time, could you do it even a little bit louder? Thanks. Are you able to do anything else for us? Are you able to... Let me finish. I'm getting chills over here.
I'm too.
Are you able to do anything else for us? Are you able to... Let me finish.
You just gonna like go outside and do anything?
We will, yeah, in a little bit.
Do it like around this side, because that's where he had a heart attack at, I guess.
And who was he? I'm trying to... The guy is elusive.
That
He
was
was your grandpa's dad, right?
yeah. So, because like my granddad had to go out and do something, but he didn't do it, and he had a heart attack as he done it for him.
So he felt guilty because he did it in his place.
Yeah. He blames himself for him dying.
That's terrible.
Is that by you, Jeff?
It was on the outside of what? That's like a white light, maybe like that big, like a circular light. It was like kind of like floated up, like outside, just like appeared, disappeared. So it's like the light of some sort.
Like just right out here?
Yeah, like right outside the window, like maybe like a little porch.
So there really wasn't much stuff happening in the living room, so we decided to come out here and see if we can get Debbie out here. What kind of noises would they make out here?
Voices sometimes.
How often does it happen?
Sometimes quite a bit.
Are those chickens?
Frogs.
The frogs? That must be different because the ones in Iowa, they go more like a... And if there's anybody out here with us that wants to make a noise, give us some kind of a sign, it has to be a little more distinct out here, as this is outside and there is potential wildlife and we can hear a few in the distance. Or also, I was at a cemetery one time where I heard boots on a wooden floor, so it had to be residual sound. Because it was a cemetery, there was no house there anymore.
Yeah.
Wow, I just felt something weird.
What?
Like right here behind me on my right shoulder.
Like, what'd you feel?
I don't know, like the hairs on the back of my neck stood up. I felt like I was being watched. Everything from there when you said that. I didn't have that feeling like 3 seconds ago until you said that.
Until he asked her.
Yeah.
So like his
The
whole
feeling
side.
of being watched from over there.
I do too, like right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah,
feel like someone's watching me.
I just got chills too.
I did too. Debbie, is that you?
Did you just hear something over there? I did.
What's that?
I don't know what it was. It was like moving or something. Yeah, I don't know what it was.
I just have to got it because it's right there. Are you able to make a noise for us? Some footsteps in the grass, and anything. I've had some personal experiences tonight. Some of the stuff was pretty interesting and hard to explain, so we still have to go over some evidence. But what's cool about this one is we get to stay overnight completely in the place that we're investigating, so we can leave stuff running even longer. So we'll just have to see what happens. Alright, well, thanks for having us over and allowing us to even stay here all night, which is a benefit to us because we're able to leave equipment running even longer, and so there's more likelihood of something being caught. As it's never guaranteed to catch anything, doesn't mean that there's nothing on the premises. It just means, out of 365 days of the year, we're in here, just probably it's bad timing, or it didn't want to show itself, or whatever the case may be. But our experiences basically come down to each of us had a personal experience when we were here, so that in itself is kind of rare for paranormal investigators, each person to have one.
So pretty much what I felt was changes in this room and somebody standing behind me when I was sitting on the couch over there, and just the feeling like somebody wanted to like put their hand on my head and just give it a shake or something like that.
At some point we thought we heard what sounded like audible footsteps kind of in the grass near us, and so we had the interceptor out there with the audio going and cameras, and we'll have to see if we're able to get that or not. But when I first came, I did think I saw someone standing right here next to the fridge, which I described to Mike, and then we saw the photos over there, and it looked like what I saw, so I don't know. Little weird feelings and stuff like that. And again, it's hard to document those things, but it's still something that we pay attention to because we don't like to just throw everything out when it comes to that. We like to capture evidence and stuff that we can see and replay. And any other thoughts, concerns, questions?
Appreciate you guys coming, though.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm glad we were able to make this work out. Yeah, Alex thought the couch was rather comfortable too.
I enjoyed it.
Sometime we'll have to come back and maybe Jackie will be with us.
Alright, well, that was your first official investigation.
Yeah, I was pretty nervous at first, but I don't know, once we got into the swing of things, I don't know, I thought it went pretty smoothly, and
yeah,
it was fun.
Yeah. I think a part of it for you was that it was a little bit further from home than most of ours will be.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like
the trip really takes a toll on you if you don't get enough sleep.
Yeah. And I don't think it's anything, like I told them, nothing negative, nothing to be concerned with. Very much an intelligent haunting based off of these stories and what we've experienced. The more you do, the more experience you get, and the more you just jump into it. You won't, you know.
Yeah. Well, the hardest part I found was just figuring out what kind of questions to ask. Because, you know, all the things you did seemed really natural, the way you progressed through the questions, and for me, I just keep drawing blanks on what to do next, but you just kind of got to build off of each question.
Yeah. So I'll teach you some other stuff that we do, and maybe I'll do my human dowsing rod thing for you sometime. I know you're wanting me to here, and I declined.
Can't wait.
So, a bunch of other stuff.
Can't wait to see those arms a flailing.
It was quite interesting being able to have that experience. It was kind of interesting on the stuff, like the stuff you guys found and everything. It was quite shocking to like realize that there was something actually there, and just like having that feeling. It was really shocking to be able to catch that. It was quite unbelievable, like for you, like to be able to describe that. And, like all the stuff you described was extremely close to her appearance and everything, and it made me think, and it was pretty shocking. Yeah, it would be good for you guys to come back and maybe either investigate our house again or do my grandparents' house Debbie passed away at, see if we can catch anything there. I appreciate you guys for coming out and taking your time. I'm very thankful for that, and we're all thankful. And I feel like you guys done a good job and everything.